Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Bangman.
Now let's start the show.
Thank you. What's the deal with Duke Nukem Forever? It's like Duke Nukem 3D with the ground. So what I'm wondering is, why does nobody like Duke Nukem Forever? I mean, I guess I can sort of see, on the one hand, why kids wouldn't like him. You know, they don't fucking know who Duke Nukem is. It's a character that came to life pretty much into his most popularity on MS-DOS, which most kids don't even know what the fuck that is. I barely know what the fuck that is. So, I guess that makes sense that you don't know Duke Nukem. The last stuff he really did that was, if any importance, were like the ports of Duke Nukem 3D to, PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64. Something that kids today are like, I don't know what that is. It's fucking old. And, I guess that makes sense. But then you gotta wonder, well, why do the critics hate it so much? Because the critics are generally older, and they probably know a bit more about Duke Nukem. They probably like Duke Nukem stuff. And the thing is, in this game, Duke Nukem, the character, hasn't really changed. Okay? I mean, people like to think that he hasn't aged well. Bullshit, he hasn't aged a fucking day. It's the same character, and they did pretty well by him. What's changed is the industry, and because of it, a lot of the gameplay elements have changed. And I think that's what critics didn't enjoy. They didn't like changing a lot of the exploration stuff and the more modernization of a lot of it, with the way you can only juggle so many guns at once. And there's just a lot of little things like that. Like, it's not super impressive. Basically, it's like any other first-person shooter that's out there. It's a lot like that. It just has the Duke character in it, which I thought was nice. And I figured that the critics would, but for some reason they hated it. But that's just the thing that it brings it back to, why did the general public hate it? It's the same shit as every other first-person shooter out there. And the only reason they didn't like it is because it didn't say Call of Duty or Battlefield or some other first-person shooter name on it. Some other name that they recognize. It's like, I don't know who Duke Nukem is, so I shouldn't care. So automatically, this is a piece of shit. Same game had Call of Duty on it, would have been like, this is cool. No, I like it. People would fucking stretch themselves to say that it was good. It would be a lot different if it was one of those, I suppose, but you get the idea. And I guess it doesn't make sense that, this stuff that everybody should have found something they should like about it, and yet everybody looks at the stuff they didn't like about it instead. And I don't understand, because for me it was like one of the most enjoyable first-person shooters I've played on the PS3. It had a lot of the cool character and all this stuff, and even though I wasn't a big fan of a lot of the modernization of it, it's like, why did nobody like the game? Why? I mean, people act like this was a terrible thing to happen, they act like this is the next, it was the worst thing to happen since, I don't know, Superman 64 or something. It's not a horrible game. It's just not everything that people were expecting. That's pretty much the absolute biggest thing for the people that would have liked the game, is that they were expecting it to be fucking amazing. And because it was, rumored for how fucking long, and when it finally came out, we were like, well, this wasn't everything I expected, even though it wasn't going to be anyway, and they probably should have thought of that for a fucking second. But they didn't. They don't have time to think maybe something's going to be not as great because it's been in the works for so long and whatever the fuck. No. Don't even bother considering that. Just think, it's gotta be huge, explosive, amazing, fucking the best thing ever! And it wasn't. And it's not Duke Nukem 3D. It's not. It's like Duke Nukem 3D with the ground. What's the deal with... I can't even do the formula. I can't even do my own show right. What's the deal with Sam? What's the deal with Sam? What's the deal